Next week, I am going for ketamine therapy and I'm extremely anxious about it. I feel like ketamine therapy for chronic pain in my situation is not very common. If you know anything about ketamine, a lot of the time the infusions are used for mental health, so things like depression and PTSD, and it's supposed to be really helpful. But for me, I have chronic nerve pain. We've kind of exhausted all of my options. Nerve blocks do nothing for me. And so ketamine therapy is the next step. It is a lot. It's not like an easy, you do it once and you're good kind of thing. I had to have a bunch of assessments. I had to have a psychological assessment because of the side effects. It can make you hallucinate, it can give you flashbacks, nightmares, that sort of thing. And so it was just like a whole process just to get to where I am right now. And I've been on this waiting list for months and months and months. And I just had an education course with the ketamine team. So I thought I would share some of the things that I learned from this session just in case someone's considering it, or maybe you're going through something similar. And so to put it simply, of what ketamine does for my situation is it almost resets your nervous system. And I know that can sound scary, but in my situation, my nervous system is hyperactive, so hopefully this resets things and then I can have a different kind of perception of pain. So it is a 5-day infusion. So I will be in the hospital for 5 days. So they want you there every day at 6 in the morning, and then they run the infusion until I think they said about 3 o'clock. And then they move you to the recovery, and then you get to go home at 5 or 6. In my situation, because of where it is, we are going to be staying at a hospital, and my fiance is going to stay with me. Or I'm going to say hotel. I meant to say hotel. I think I said hospital. And so in the beginning, they give you anti-nausea medication because a lot of people get really nauseous, and then they give you a sedative to help with anxiety, and then they tell you to bring calming music and an eye mask because they don't want you to be overstimulated. Ketamine does make you really sleepy anyways, so I'm thinking I'm probably just going to sleep for this entire time, hopefully. But you're not allowed to eat 12 a.m. the night before, or I guess the day of, and then you can eat once you are discharged from the recovery room. So realistically, you have like a very small window to eat. And then also you're not allowed to get up at all during the infusion. So if you have to go to the washroom, they're going to give you a bedpan or transfer you to a commode because it's not safe for you to get up. And then also they give you, every day they'll give you an injection in your stomach for a blood thinner called heparin. And this is just to prevent any blood clots because you're not going to be up and moving like you normally would. This is just the information that I grasped from this session. I haven't gone through this myself, so I'm sure things are going to be a little bit different. I am going to try and film my experience because I could hardly find anything about this. I could find a lot of stuff about the mental health side of it, but mine's a bit different. I think with the mental health one, you just don't do it for as many days and it's a lower dose. And then I am supposed to be on oral ketamine for 6 weeks after too, which honestly scares me because you take it 3 times a day, but it's to prolong the effects. And I'll only be taking it if this actually works for me because there's no point if I don't respond. But there is evidence that ketamine works on your central nervous system. So if your pain isn't related to that, then it's not going to work. But in my situation, there's evidence to believe that it is my central nervous system. I am a student right now too. So we tried to get it during the reading week, but we couldn't. So it's the week after my reading week. So I'm trying to do so much for school so that I can keep up and I don't miss too much. And so it's just a lot trying to coordinate everything, but I'm praying this works. I'm trying to be hopeful. So stay tuned because I'm sure there's going to be lots of videos around this.